Denzel Washington is widely regarded as one of the greatest actors of all time. Rightfully so. He's incredibly versatile and elevates everything he is in, whether it's as a dirty cop in Training Day, a crime lord in American Gangster, a civil rights leader in Malcolm X, the good soldier in Crimson Tide, or a man out for vengeance in Man on Fire or the Equalizer movies. Denzel always brings it his all. But why does no one talk about Fallen? It's quite possibly my favorite movie of his, and he gives one of his most complex and emotional performances. It's also the only time that I'm aware of that he ever did horror or anything close to it. I guess you could maybe count The Bone Collector, but Fallen to me is a much better film. I'm not going to get into the debate as to whether it is or isn't horror. Everyone has their own definition, but under any common definition of horror that I'm aware of, this definitely fits in. So to me, it is. It's also one of those where you have to go in knowing as little as possible, so I'll try my best to keep this video as vague as I can, because my main goal here is to get as many people to watch it as possible. Honestly, I wouldn't even look up the description or anything else about the movie, just go right to watching it if you can, after this video of course. Let's dive into, without specifics, what makes this movie so effective. I'm just going to talk briefly about the inciting incident, which I do not consider a spoiler. The basics of the plot involve a detective named John Hobbs, played by Denzel, overseeing the execution of a notorious serial killer that he put away, Edgar Reese. Reese acts strangely confident for someone who is about to die and drops some cryptic words before he goes. Not too long after, a series of murders start to occur that seem eerily similar to the way he went about things. Without giving anything away, it might be pretty easy for some people, even on first watch, to figure out what's going on, but I definitely didn't the first time I watched it. It builds a really intriguing mystery with several different directions it could go, and while we tend to usually be a little ahead of the characters, it's still really compelling and engaging to watch Denzel and the surrounding characters try to figure it out with the information that they have. Because remember, they're not getting everything that we as the viewers are. From the jump, the movie sucks you in and never lets you go with an incredibly eerie vibe. Even if you think you know what's going on, there is no escaping the uneasy feeling that you will feel throughout the entire runtime. And just because you know what's going on doesn't necessarily mean that you know what to do or how to resolve the situation, or the full extent of how these things work. You never feel like you can truly relax for even a second, when danger is always around the corner. It's a supernatural thriller where no one ever feels safe, and you're never entirely sure who or what to trust. This type of edge-of-your-seat, consistent investment is exactly what you want out of a horror movie. Even the quieter moments are so compelling because they have some relevance to the story or characters, or some little details that you don't want to miss. Denzel gives what is, in my opinion, one of the best and certainly most underrated performances of his career in this film. As stated, this is the only time I'm aware of that he did horror, and he perfectly captures the confusion, fear, and anxiety that anyone would have in a situation like this. But it's also one of the most personal and emotional performances he has ever given. The range of emotions and depths he goes to with this character shows off his range as well as any other role he has ever done. He's a good cop who always tries to do the right thing and gets caught up in this situation that is beyond his comprehension. But he does his absolute best to figure it out. His brother and nephew live with him, they are very close, and family is very important to him. The fact that this situation potentially puts them at risk as well adds another layer of tension and emotion to the film. But Denzel isn't the only star in this film, which makes it all the more confusing that no one ever talks about it. Fallen is populated with great supporting performances and side characters. John Goodman is fantastic as Hobbs' loyal and trusted sidekick, Jonesy. Donald Sutherland brings that experience and gravitas to Hobbs' boss, Lieutenant Stanton. James Gandolfini brings his usual charisma and sarcasm to fellow cop Lou. I mentioned Hobbs' family and how important that was to him. Gabriel Cassius, I hope I said that right, whom I don't think I've ever seen in anything else, perfectly captures the naive, unassuming nature of Hobbs' brother Art. This is a character and performance that could easily not work, but he's just so genuine and likable that he is legitimately one of my favorite movie characters of all time, and you want nothing but the best for him. Michael J. Pagan plays Art's son, Hobbs' nephew, Sam, another performance that could really go either way, as is often the case with children, but man, he is incredible in this. A young kid is clearly not equipped to handle a situation like this, and Pagan nails that innocence. But he can also be smarter than he lets on. There is one particular line that he delivers that I will not say what it is, but if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm referring to. It breaks me every single time. The film is elevated so much by the performances of these two actors who, again, you have probably never heard of, alongside Denzel, and their relationships with each other is the heartbeat of the movie. Another massive standout for me is Embeth Davids, again, hope I said that right, who has popped up in several things throughout the years. You have probably seen her but don't know her by name. This is easily her most memorable performance to me. She's kind of the expert who has some ties to someone involved and knows a bit more about what's going on than anyone else. She delivers a decent amount of exposition, but it's exposition that makes sense in the context of the movie and is important for the audience. Her dynamic with Hobbs develops throughout the movie and adds another layer to the film. The amount of different characters and relationships in this movie that all work elevate it above others in the subgenre. Fallen is directed by Gregory Hoblit, who is legitimately one of my favorite directors, and no one ever talks about him. He also did Primal Fear, Frequency, and Fracture. He loves the letter F, apparently, but I also love all of those movies. In my mind, he is 4 for 4 with 4 homers. He makes movies that are 100% on my wavelength, and if you have seen and like any of those, you will almost certainly love Fallen. Hoblit is great at capturing the atmosphere and feeling of unease that is constant throughout the entire film. The main thing that makes good horror movies so effective is direction, the placement of the camera, and the way the scenes are shot, and Hoblit excels at that. Without saying too much, the movie is shot in a very unique way that makes it all the more engaging and memorable. I've never really seen anything like it. I could maybe see it being a little off-putting to some people, but for fans of the genre, I can't see it not enhancing the experience. Of course, as a big score guy, I have to mention the great score by Dun Tan, who also did Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Music is, no pun intended, instrumental to a good horror movie, and Tan's score here is sufficiently creepy when necessary, capturing the atmosphere and the eerie, uneasy feeling that is present throughout the entire film, but he also hits the emotional beats when necessary, and the movie has a lot of those too. Take away the score or switch it to a lesser one, and the entire film falls apart. The vibes and emotions wouldn't work nearly as well. But it's not just the score. The use of pre-existing music, one song in particular, is brilliant. It is used throughout the film, and I'm telling you, you will never hear that song the same again. I also want to briefly, again without specifics, mention the ending. The movie perfectly sets up a lot of potential ideas and payoffs, and there were several directions it could have gone that would have worked. But there are several choices throughout this final sequence that subvert expectations and make you say, oh, that was brilliant. Oh, wait, that was even more brilliant. There are things said earlier in the film that might not necessarily mean what you thought they meant, and I could see the ending being divisive, but I think it is absolutely earned and set up, even if it's not necessarily what you were anticipating in the moment. In fact, that makes it even better. If nothing else, it's an experience you will never forget. Guys, I cannot stress this enough. Please watch Fallen if you like supernatural, psychological thrillers. For whatever reason, it's criminally underseen and under-talked about. It's eerie and engaging from the start. The direction and music perfectly capture the uneasy feeling. It's unique. It constantly keeps you guessing and on your toes with the mystery. Denzel is fantastic. The side characters and performances are great. The emotions land, and the ending is awesome. The few people I do know who have seen it absolutely love it. And if this sounds like your kind of thing, I would be shocked if you don't feel the same way. It has sort of a similar feel to Frailty, which I also did this type of video on. Do yourself the favor and give Fallen a shot as soon as possible. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. If you have seen Fallen, drop your thoughts in a comment below. If you have not, go watch it, then come back and drop your thoughts. I hope this video convinced some people to watch it because it is fantastic. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. Likes are so important for helping me grow my channel and increasing the viewership of my videos. Subscribe and hit the notification bell to get notified when I post a video. If you are interested in seeing more of this kind of stuff, check out my Patreon for further benefits and stay tuned for some more fun content, mostly horror for this month. I will see you soon.